Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you how to make a Christmas tree decoration. You need quite a few materials for this. Firstly, I have pinking shears, I have a pair of tailor's scissors, I've got some thread, I've got the machine with thread already set up, I have these for clipping off ends, some pins, different types of pins. I like the ones with the baubles on the end. I have a box of buttons. They are for decoration. And you also need some brown ribbon or perhaps even bias binding like I have. That's for the tree trunk. And also I have a bag of different ribbon. I need some ribbon to hang the finished decoration from the tree. You also want some wadding. This is to British standard. Always make sure you use something that complies with regulations for fire safety. And some fabric. I have some pieces of tweed here. This is Harris tweed. I'm going to use one of the smaller pieces of Harris tweed. I'm going to choose that piece. And I also have some tracing paper. You can use greaseproof paper, and I have a pencil, and I also have a ruler, and you'll need the paper and the ruler and the pencil to draw your template. Measure out your design. I'm going to go for about 4 inches. So draw a line across from the 0 to the 4. Then you need to find your centre point, which is the 2. And make a mark. And then you need to think about how high you want the tree to be. And you make another mark in line with that mark. If it's easier, just use your ruler to measure like so. And then what you do is you need to draw the diagonal line up to create an apex. So from the edge to the top, and you draw a line like this. And then you want to draw another line on the other side from top to bottom. And there we go. Now I have my fabric folded with the right side up. What I do sometimes is I often put a pin in a little bit of the fabric so I remember which the right side is, especially if I'm working with something like tweed, because it can get a bit confusing. It can sometimes be hard to tell which is the right side of the weave. I've placed the template on top, as you can see, and now I'm going to pin it and cut round the edges. Here we go. This is ready to cut. Now you need a piece of ribbon. So I've got a piece of ribbon here, and you want to cut a piece of ribbon off, and you want to be attaching it with a small tack to the right side of the fabric, and you want to be pinning this in place as well to keep it out of the way while you're sewing. that then will be sewn into the top of the tree for easy and neat hanging. I have a piece of ribbon here that is about 6 inches long. I've measured it on the ruler. This is the right side of the ribbon, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop it round and put it face down onto the right side of the fabric. And as you can see, this is how I have pinned it in place. I'm going to put a small tacking stitch now to secure, and I will also put a stitch here as well, which I will remove later, and I'll leave the bottom open. Here it is. So the best thing to do now is to cut the threads and trim it. And also don't forget to remove the tacking stitches there, and then we'll turn it out. So here is our cute little tree, and I've used the pointy end of the scissors to push out any corners that won't push out properly by themselves, just to give that good apex effect. I've also neatened the bottom edge with the pinking shears, and I've looped round a 2-inch piece of the brown bias binding. This is for a tree trunk effect. I have pinned it in place, and I'm going to tack it in place as well, just with a couple of tacking stitches, and then I'm going to fill it with a little bit of toy stuffing. You don't want a lot, you don't want it to look really bulky. You just want a little bit to just pad it out a bit before we sew along the bottom edge. It's probably also easier as well to sew the button onto the decoration at the top before you fill it, just so you can get the thread through properly without it going through to the back side of the decoration. If you are a bit reticent to, in case you prick yourself and you don't, say, have a thimble, you could maybe just do some decorative stitches through the holes of the button and then just glue it on with PVA glue and leave it a while to set. Just put enough in just to give it a bit of shape. That should be enough. I've put 3 small pieces in, and that's just right. And it'll just give you little tree decoration a bit more shape. And I'm going to pin it along the bottom now and sew it in place. If you prefer, you can use tacking stitches instead of pins if you don't have a straight eye or if you're not very good at sewing. But I'm just going to pin it and stitch it. And now I have removed the tacking stitches at the bottom and neatened any uneven edges off. And here it is then. This is my lovely Christmas tree decoration, and I hope you enjoy making one too if you are inspired to. See you again soon. Bye.